When you cancel every subscription draining your bank account, a financial reset most modern adults have never attempted, you aren't depriving yourself. You are flipping a switch that's been jammed in the on position for a decade. Imagine a bank account where automatic withdrawals never stop. Netflix you watch once a month. Spotify Premium, even though the free version was fine. The Peloton app you downloaded with a New Year's resolution and forgot by March. And the one nobody remembers. The cloud storage you upgraded once and never thought about again. 8, 9, sometimes 12 small charges hitting the same account every single month. You stopped reading the statements years ago. The fees pile up. The retirement contributions sit underfunded. The emergency fund leaks faster than you can refill it. This isn't just a metaphor. This is your money on autopilot. Now imagine what happens when you finally lock the doors and stop the charges. The drain stops. The cash pools, the compounding machine that's supposed to be funding your retirement finally has something to compound. Today, we're walking through exactly what happens to your finances when you cancel every subscription, year by year. Month 1, year 5, year 10, and year 20. By the end, you'll see why this might be the single most powerful financial move you make this decade. Let's start the clock. To make this real, let's follow two people. Same age, same income, same city, same starting point. Meet Tyler, 34 years old. Marketing manager, makes about $90,000 a year. He just looked at his last 3 months of bank statements and added up every recurring charge. The number scared him. $219 a month across 9 active subscriptions, streaming services he barely uses, a gym he stopped going to, cloud storage he upgraded once and forgot, a fitness app from a New Year's resolution. Today, Tyler is going to cancel everything that isn't essential. He's going to cancel roughly $200 a month in services he doesn't use. Meet Greg, same age, same job, same salary, same 9 subscriptions. Greg is also going to look at his bank statement today. He's going to think about canceling. And then he's going to close the app and tell himself he'll deal with it next month. 2 men, 2 identical bank accounts, 1 small decision. We're going to follow both of them, year by year, for the next 20 years. By the end, you're going to see exactly what that one decision costs Greg and earns Tyler. And the gap is going to be much bigger than you think. Month 1. Tyler hits cancel on Netflix first. It takes 19 seconds. The screen asks him if he's sure. It tells him he'll lose his watch list. It offers him a discount to stay. He clicks through anyway. Then Spotify Premium. Then the Peloton app. Then his gym, which actually requires a phone call. Then the cloud storage. Then the meal kit. By the end of the evening, Tyler has canceled 9 services. $200 a month, gone. The first week is fine. The second week is harder. Tyler reaches for Netflix out of habit and remembers it's gone. He feels the small social tax of not knowing what his coworkers are talking about. He almost resubscribes twice. This is the moment most people give up. They feel the discomfort of removing something familiar, and they mistake that discomfort for a real need. Tyler isn't losing anything important. He's just losing the convenience of not having to choose. When you have 10 streaming services, you don't choose what to watch. You graze. When you have one or none, you actually pick a movie, and you actually watch it. The same is true for your money. When you have 10 subscriptions you don't use, you don't make conscious choices about what your money is for. You just bleed. Meanwhile, Greg's life looks identical to last month. Same Netflix queue he won't finish. Same gym he won't visit. Same charges hitting his account on the same dates. Greg feels nothing because nothing has changed. That's the danger. The withdrawal phase only happens when you actually do something. By the end of month 1, Tyler has an extra $200 sitting in his checking account. Greg has the same balance he always has. The gap between them is small. $200. The size of a dinner out. But the clock has started, and from here, the math takes over. 6 months in, something has changed inside Tyler's head. He doesn't miss the subscriptions anymore. The reflex to open Netflix when he's bored is gone. He reads more, he cooks more, he walks more. None of this was the goal. It just happened because the easy default was removed. Tyler has now redirected that $200 a month into an index fund, a low-cost S&P 500 fund inside his Roth IRA. He set it up as an automatic transfer on the first of each month. Same date the charges used to hit. Same amount. Same automation. Just flowing in the opposite direction. This is the part most people get wrong. Canceling subscriptions only works if you actually capture the money. If Tyler had canceled everything and let the $200 sit in his checking account, he would have spent it on something else within 90 days. Lifestyle inflation is silent and fast. The freed cash needs a destination, and the destination needs to be automatic. Otherwise, the bleeding just moves to a different wound. Greg, on the other hand, has spent the last 6 months exactly the way he spent the previous 5 years. Same 9 subscriptions. Same erratic checking account balance. Same vague feeling that he should be further ahead than he is. The thing about Greg is that he isn't stupid. And he isn't lazy. He's just running on the default, like almost everyone else. By month 6, Tyler's investment account has roughly $1,200 in it, plus some early growth from the market. It doesn't look like much yet, but the machine is now running, and once the machine runs, time starts doing the work that effort can't. 12 months after Tyler hit cancel, his investment account holds approximately $2,479. $2,400 of that is the money he saved by not paying for subscriptions. The extra $79 is what the market returned on his contributions during the year. Greg, in the same 12 months, has paid $2,400 to streaming services, apps, and a gym he visited once in February. That money is gone. Not invested, not saved, gone. Transferred to companies whose entire business model depends on Greg never checking his bank statement. The gap between Tyler and Greg at the end of year 1 is $4,900. Tyler has gained $2,500. Greg has lost $2,400. Same starting point, same income, one decision. This is the part that most subscription cancellation videos stop at. They show you the year 1 number and tell you it's a lot of money. And it is. But the year 1 number isn't the story. The year 1 number is the seed. The story is what happens when you don't touch the seed for 19 more years. 5 years in, Tyler's account holds approximately $14,300. He has personally contributed $12,000. The other $2,300 is pure compounding. Returns, earning returns, earning returns. It's not life-changing money. Yet. But for the first time, the account is growing faster than Tyler is feeding it. The machine has started building its own fuel. Meanwhile, Greg has now spent $12,000 on subscriptions over 5 years. Half of that was on services he genuinely doesn't remember using. The other half was on services he used occasionally but could have lived without. $12,000. That's a used car. That's a year of in-state college tuition. That's the down payment on a small kitchen renovation. Greg doesn't have any of those things. He has watched some shows. Here's where the savviest version of you might object. You might say, this is small money. Focus on the real levers, buy a smaller house, drive a cheaper car, negotiate a raise. The big wins matter, the small wins don't. That advice sounds smart, but the people who give it have never actually run the numbers. They look at the $15 streaming service and call it nothing. They forget that the real number isn't 15, it's 200 on average across multiple categories. And that 200 run forward through the actual S&P 500 historical return becomes something nobody talks about. The big levers and the small levers aren't in competition. Tyler can still negotiate a raise. Tyler can still buy a smaller house. Tyler can still drive a cheaper car. The $200 a month isn't replacing those moves. It's in addition to them, it's found money. And found money compounds the same way earned money compounds. By year 5, the gap between Tyler and Greg is over $26,000. Tyler has $14,000 growing. Greg has $12,000 gone. Now watch what happens when we run the clock 5 more years. 10 years after Tyler canceled his subscriptions, his account holds approximately $34,600. That's the headline number. But the headline number is not what makes this powerful. What makes this powerful is what the number actually is. It's not $34,600 from investing. It's $34,600 from things you weren't even using. It's not $34,600 of new money you had to earn. It's $34,600 that was already leaving your account. It's not $34,600 in a lifetime. It's $34,600 in the same decade you would have wasted on Netflix you watched twice a month and a gym you stopped going to in March. $24,000 of that came from Tyler's pocket, just the raw cash he didn't spend on subscriptions. The other $10,600 came from nothing, from the market doing what the market does over a decade. Greg, meanwhile, has now sent $24,000 to companies that thanked him by raising their prices. The gap between Tyler and Greg at the end of year 10 is $58,600. $58,000 from one decision made on one evening 10 years ago, and we're only halfway through the timeline. 20 years after Tyler canceled his subscriptions, his account holds approximately $104,000. Read that again. $104,000 from canceling streaming services and a gym membership, from a single evening of work 20 years ago. Of that $104,000, $48,000 was Tyler's actual contributions. The other $56,000 was pure compounding. The market did more than half of the work. Tyler did almost none of it. The decision he made 20 years ago is now generating more growth in a single year than he originally contributed in the first two. Greg, 20 years later, has paid $48,000 to subscription companies. $48,000. He has nothing to show for it. He still doesn't use most of the services. He has been thinking about canceling for 19 of those 20 years. The total gap between Tyler and Greg at year 20 is over $152,000. $152,000, a six-figure swing between two men who started identical from a decision that took less than an hour. And here's the part that should make you pause the video and look at your last bank statement. Tyler isn't special. He didn't pick the right stock. He didn't start a business. He didn't get lucky. He canceled some subscriptions and put the money in an index fund. That's the whole story. Anyone watching this video can do exactly what Tyler did, starting tonight, and the math will work the same way. If Tyler is 34 years old today, he'll be 64 when this clock finishes. Retirement age. Let's run the math one more time. At year 30, Tyler's account holds approximately $244,000, $250,000, from canceling Netflix, Spotify, a gym, and a fitness app at age 34. $72,000 of that is his money. The other $172,000 is the market's contribution. Greg, at 64, has paid $72,000 to subscription companies and has nothing to retire on. This is the real story of compounding, the story almost nobody understands until they've actually watched it happen. The contributions become a minority of the account. The returns become the majority. Eventually, the account grows faster on its own than you can possibly feed it. That's the moment. That's the moment that turns ordinary people into financially secure retirees. And it starts with $200 a month that you were already spending anyway. Canceling subscriptions is the easy part. Capturing the money is the part that determines whether you become Tyler or Greg. Most people who try this fail at step 2. They cancel everything, feel proud, and then quietly absorb the extra cash into their lifestyle within 90 days. 3 months later, they're broke again, only without Netflix this time. That's the worst possible outcome. Step 1 is the audit. Pull your bank statement and your credit card statement from the last 3 months. Highlight every recurring charge. Most people are shocked at what they find. The average American thinks they spend about $86 a month on subscriptions. The actual average is $219. The gap between what you think you spend and what you actually spend is where the money is hiding. Step 2 is the cut. Be ruthless. If you haven't used it in the last 30 days, it goes. If you can't name a specific time you used it in the last week, it goes. Cancel first, resubscribe later if you actually miss something. You won't miss most of them. That's the whole point. Companies count on the fact that you won't cancel something you don't use, because canceling feels like a decision and not canceling feels like nothing. Step 3 is the redirect. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to an investment account on the first of every month for the exact amount you just canceled. Same date the charges used to hit. Same amount. The money doesn't pass through your hands. It doesn't sit in your checking account waiting to be spent on something else. It moves from one automation to another. That's the part that builds Tyler's account. Step 4 is the destination. The account matters. A Roth IRA is the best option for most people. You contribute after-tax dollars and everything you earn grows tax-free for the rest of your life. If your employer offers a 401k match you're not capturing, that comes first. After that, a Roth IRA invested in a low-cost total market index fund. Set it, automate it, and stop looking at it. If you cancel everything tonight, the first 90 days will not feel great. You'll feel the FOMO. You'll feel the social tax of not having access to whatever everyone's talking about. You'll feel the small daily friction of an inconvenience that used to be paid for. This isn't because the strategy is wrong. It's because you've been trained by 10 years of frictionless access to confuse convenience with necessity. There will also be moments where this is hard for real reasons. Maybe your kids genuinely use one of the streaming services. Maybe your job actually requires the cloud storage. Maybe the gym membership is the only thing keeping you exercising. Those are real. Keep those. The goal is not zero subscriptions. The goal is zero subscriptions you don't actually use. Be honest about the difference. And like any financial reset, this works best when your situation supports it. If you're currently in crisis, drowning in high-interest debt, or under significant family financial stress, talk to a financial professional before making sweeping changes. This strategy is for people with stable income who are leaking money they don't need to be leaking. We live in an economy designed to make recurring charges feel invisible. Every app, every service, every platform has been engineered to make signing up easy and forgetting easier. The default is to leak. The default is to pay for things you don't use. The default is to be Greg. But the default isn't destiny. The switch is right there in your settings, on your statement, in your hands. One evening of cancellation, one automatic transfer. Then 20 years of doing absolutely nothing while the math does the work. Tyler didn't get rich because he was smart. He got rich because he stopped bleeding and let time do the rest. That's the whole secret. That's the entire video. The hardest part isn't the math. The math is easy. The hardest part is sitting down tonight, opening your statement, and being honest about what you're actually paying for. If you do that one thing this time next year, you'll have an extra $2,400. In 10 years, 34,000. In 20, over 100,000. In 30, $250,000. From canceling things you weren't even using. Your subscriptions are running right now, whether you watch the video to the end or not. The clock doesn't care. It just keeps ticking. The only question is whether the next 20 years of charges are going to Netflix or to you.